know Doctor Who? And if you don't, then you can go.
Right, hello guys, we're watching Go Doctor Who, and today we're going to do... Let's rank the Torchwood team from worst to best. Now, there isn't any worst, really, I don't think. I really enjoy every sort of Torchwood member on the team. I won't count Martha or John Hart, or I won't count Nessa, whatever her name was, in Miracle Day, and I won't count Rex from Miracle Day as part of the Torchwood team, because they really weren't. They were just helpful members that could help the Torchwood team. They could be substitute Torchwood team B, you know, whatever. But the main Torchwood team I'm going to rank from worst to best today. Now, every single Torchwood member I've absolutely loved, and I don't hate, and I actually really enjoy. And I wish we had the Torchwood team one last time all together. Maybe if it was set in the past as an episode, that would be nice to give a nod to Torchwood. But today we're going to rank the Torchwood team from worst to best and give my favourite members and talk about them. And let's talk about the ones who I love but not so as much as others. So yeah, let's get into it. At bottom place is Tosh. Now, I really like Tosh. I think she's an interesting character who just wants to be loved, you know. She just genuinely wants to be loved, and she gets ripped on quite a lot, and she feels probably not top dog, the least top dog in the group. She feels like she's not meant to be there in a way, I think she feels. But she is, when she is there, she is feisty, she is technical and very reliable and very important to the team when she can do this technical stuff that no one else can. And she is brilliant. And Tosh is certainly a vital member for the Torchwood team that they maybe all took for granted. And she is a brilliant character, but she just isn't as good as others, I find. And I just like the dynamic of when she went with Owen. And she was trying to get with Owen, and she was a bit jealous of Gwen. And Owen was also her main crush, her love she wanted to get with. But she also had some love lives with an alien. And she also had a love life with a guy who gets sent back to the past. Tommy, I think it was. So yeah, she's had not the best of luck with love, but that's the main thing. She wanted to be loved by the Torchwood team, and she just didn't get it, you know. But yeah, that's why she's at the bottom of the list, because I think other members are better in my opinion and have a stronger character arc. But you may disagree with me, and that's completely fine. And I'd love to see where you put Tosh or any of the others in the comments down below. What would you rank the Torchwood team? And yeah, let's get on to the next one. My next favourite one is Ianto. Yes, I absolutely love Ianto. He is amazing. He's adorably amazing, especially when he's with Captain Jack in Series 2 and Series 3. Oh my god, his death was... Oh, yes, I love Ianto. He's the badass butler. He's the badass butler who can take him... He's certainly grown throughout the Series 1. He was a few witty liners. He was mainly in the background until the Cybermen episode. Series 2 was where he really progressed and where he really came forth, and the relationship between Captain Jack and Ianto really blossomed. And then we got the sad Romeo and Juliet vibe of killing him off in front of Jack and getting a last hurrah. And something Ianto really wanted to do was make sure Jack never forgot him. He didn't want Jack to forget him, because Ianto loves Jack so much, and it's only Jack he wants to be with now from his end. He also had a Cybermen girlfriend who he snuck into the Torchwood team to look after, and it came to the demise and he had to deal with it. And yes, and then he had to work as a butler, but then he started to go out more by countrysides and went on his own adventures and seeing how dangerous the Torchwood life really is. And then he started to progress a lot more, and I really enjoy him, especially in Series 3, but I really started to enjoy him a lot more in Series 2, and I think this is where he kick-starts into badass action. And yeah, I love Ianto, and Eye Candy is at that place. Next up on the list, we have Owen. I love Owen. I think he's brilliant. He's one of my favourite male characters of the group. He's absolutely a funny, badass, who is interesting to see in one of the episodes where he turns into a geek and turns into the opposite of what Owen means with Adam. So yeah, that's an interesting episode. But Owen is a strong character who we've seen progress, and we also see in a flashback episode of how he came with Torchwood. He lost his wife, he lost his loved one. She was her memory was messing up, and it was all because of an alien inside his wife. Yeah, so then we have that dynamic, and we have to see him go through that grieving process. And then when she dies and he sees her dead body, no one believes him or how she died and stuff like that. And he blames Jack, and he's beating up Jack. And then he gets recruited as a doctor for Team Torchwood. And we see him throughout Series 1 with the cheeky vibe banter. I guess that's how he copes. That's how he continues with his life, because he's trying to make everything humorous, I guess, in a way. Owen is a strong character who deserves a lot more. He was amazing from Series 1. Yes, he did cheat with Reese, with Gwen and Owen having sex and stuff like that. And that was such a bad move, I think, for the Torchwood team. But yeah, he had that thing, and I think he really did kind of have feelings for Gwen for a bit. Then he finally revealed, for the couple of endings towards Series 2, that he did have feelings for Tosh, but not as much as she probably did, I felt. But it was certainly there. He just didn't want to test the waters, sort of thing, and make it weird and the feeling, I guess. But then we also get, of course, his downfall. He has competition with Martha. He starts competition with this, and he feels like he's been replaced in a way. And then certainly when he gets killed off and then brought back to the dead, and then he stays dead but still alive and very fragile body, he has to look after himself. He has to be careful, and everyone's treating him like glass, and he has to be careful of that. And with that in play, he feels like Martha's taken over as a doctor, and he feels like he's redundant to the team. He's a bit of baggage that they have to deal with, and he doesn't like that. And he can't drink, he can't eat, and most importantly with Owen, he can't have sex. And he absolutely, it's his hobby, it's his goal, he's always having sex. And yeah, we see that, and he can't cope with that, and we have to see him evolve as a character. And this story arc really makes his character even more depth. And then towards the end, he risks his life to save everyone from Cardiff and the radiation, and he's screaming, he doesn't want to die, but then he learns to accept death. And then yeah, that's the end of Owen. And now we have at second place Gwen Cooper. I would also like to mention Reese. Reese comes as a pairing, and if I added him to the Torchwood team, he would probably just come underneath Owen. So yes, right, and Reese is a lovable character who should be part of the team. I wish we got more of him in Torchwood, that'd be nice. But yeah, Gwen. So Gwen, we saw from the beginning, she's our eyes into Torchwood. We learn about Torchwood through Gwen in episode 1. We learn the mystery of Captain Jack, and Captain Jack has the most chemistry with Gwen in the whole of Torchwood. I feel she chips at him quite a lot. She finds out more information up from Jack than anyone else has. Gwen is a police officer who wants more, and thinking of it, Yaz from series 13, she wants more as a police officer and then gets drifted off with the Doctor. But Gwen gets more character development with her being a police officer and then wanting more, and then seeing the Torchwood life and delving into that mystery and dealing with aliens, and she's learning how to cope with that. And Gwen is certainly having to juggle with day-to-day life and Torchwood, and she doesn't want to lose both. She wants to keep both. Yeah, so then we have series 2 where Jack's gone away from series 3 of Doctor Who, where Jack's been took by the Master. Torchwood team's been left on their own, and they've been defending. And who's took charge of the group? Gwen, and she's took charge, and she's trying to show off to Captain Jack to see, I can take the Torchwood team, I can do what you can do, sort of thing. And then she's progressed with that, and then she's got married to Reese, and she's finally got a happy ending in a way, starting to come together. but then she loses a Torchwood team and she doesn't know how to cope with that. And then she has to deal with day-to-day life of Series 3 of Torchwood, and then we have an absolute banger of Children of Earth, learning how she has to cope without a Torchwood team. She's lost loads of them, and then she loses Ianto, and then after that it's just Reese and her, because Captain Jack can't cope the guilt anymore, so he goes off, and Reese and Gwen have to live out their lives hiding from the government, but also have a baby on the way. And then when they have a baby away, we see Miracle Day, and we see her progressing with Miracle Day, and her dad being ill, and she has to cope with that, and she can't see her family because of the government. And then she solves Miracle Day, and I guess finally Gwen gets to rest with Reese and her baby and her mum, and the government may have left them alone at this point, and maybe Torchwood continued on from that as well, not counting Big Finish in this. So yeah, that's how we leave Gwen. We leave Gwen with her mom, her dad who sadly passed away, her child, and Reese, and kind of a Torchwood team structured, ready like Series 1. She's ready for more action, but she's there if they're needed. And that's how I like Gwen. She's feisty, she's Welsh, bang, you know, she's funny, she's calm, she's collective, she's a boss, and she's a leader. So yeah, next up on the list is Captain Jack. Now, I can make a whole video on Captain Jack myself, so I'm not going to really talk much about Captain Jack at this point, other than the fact that Captain Jack is my favourite Doctor Who companion. Spoilers for the ranking of companions. If you want to see up to second place though, check out my companion ranking. I may do another one in the future after companions leave from series 13 maybe. Yeah, I may do a companion ranking up to date at some point in the future, so stick around for that if you want as well. But Captain Jack's one of my favourite companions, if not the favourite companion, and I love him to bits. And Torchwood definitely shows his darker side to Captain Jack, and that's what I love as well. And the progression that we have with him, and it's like I've done a video on there being two Captain Jacks in the Doctor Who universe. There kind of is. There's an easygoing Captain Jack that lets the Doctor take charge, and there's a Torchwood Captain Jack that steps up a gear, and he can swear, and he can do a lot more, and he can be a lot more. And I think we learn a lot more through Torchwood than Doctor Who with Captain Jack, and we get to see his progression of a leader, then more learning to trust others as well. And he's lived a long, long life, and we get to see delves into Torchwood throughout his long life in little bits, and that's interesting to see. And Captain Jack's a lone warrior looking around for comfort in this long, long life of his, and he also wants to do right and save anyone he can, and that's down to the Doctor as well, because he was a con man at the start and not giving a damn about anyone, to now giving a damn very much so, and creating a team to defend the Earth. And he does whatever he feels is right, and he is a born leader. I absolutely love Captain Jack, and he's got to be at first place. I absolutely love him. So yeah, that's my Torchwood team ranking. What did you think? Do you have a Torchwood team ranking? And let's try and get to 300 subscribers, because we are trying to get that goal before the end of the year. And yes, remember, there's more videos to come on the channel, so don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another video in the future. Have a nice day.